So in this video, I'm going to show you how to do a simple animation in Blender. With any animation, keyframes are required. Keyframes are those key frames where things are going to change. So in this particular animation, I'm going to start my camera looking over at this front part of the word, move it over to the end part of the word, move it out so that I can see the entire word, and then move the camera either up or down for the final position. So I'm going to need a total of 1, 2, 3, 4 keyframes. And then once I get it in that last position, I'll simply leave the camera in that position and let it play for some additional frames. So down below here I have my timeline view, and I want to make sure that I have the object selected that I'm trying to animate. I can animate any of these objects. I could be animating the text, the vase, the walls, the floor. I'm interested in animating the camera. So you'll need to make sure that the camera is selected. So I've got a couple different views here. You can see right here I've got my camera already selected. And I've got my camera view over here, and I'm at frame 0 over here. So I'm going to go ahead and move this camera so that I'm at the first part of my word. And so I've got that. So now I want to keyframe that particular position. So I'm going to press the letter I on the keyboard. That brings up all my insert keyframe choices, and because I'm going to have to change the rotation of the camera along with its location, I'm going to select the location rotation keyframe. So now on my timeline associated with my camera, I have a keyframe at frame 0. Now I've got to decide where I need my next one, and I'm going to say mine's going to be at frame 30. So now I need to move the camera into that new position. So I want it to be moving along the front of these words, getting down to the very end of the word. So since I've got it in this position here, I'm going to go ahead and press the letter G, and I'm going to simply move my mouse so that I can get the camera into the position near the end of that word, and then I'm going to simply do a left click. Now I need to make sure I have a keyframe at this position. I have not yet done that, so I'm going to go ahead and do I. Again, do location, rotation. And so now I have a second keyframe. Now I can scrub across this timeline and see what my animation is going to be like. And I'm happy with that. So now I'm going to move, in my case, 30 more frames down, and I want my third keyframe. So I'm going to go ahead and move this camera back. I also want to move it up a little bit. And I'm going to rotate it down. What I'm trying to do is simply get the camera lined up. I'm looking at this face here. There's probably easier, better ways to do this. Oop, pressed the wrong button there, so let me repeat that. I'm hitting R for rotate, so I can rotate my camera down. I also want to move my camera further back so I have everything in view, and maybe see where I'm at height wise. Alright, so let's say that's my next keyframe. So I'm going to hit I. Definitely need to be using the location rotation because I had some rotation of the camera involved. Now I'm going to go ahead and move my camera down. I also want to rotate it up. Let me go ahead and move my camera back a little bit. So I'm going to switch views. I'm happy with that. So I want to make sure that I'm on frame 90, which I did not do. Whoop. Alright, so let's just say that's my last frame. Again, make sure that I keyframe that. Location, rotation. If I scrub across here then, on my starting keyframe, it's going to move to my keyframe at the end of the words. It's going to move out so that I can see everything, and then it's going to move down so that I'm at a different level, and it's going to stay in that particular position. If you need to make some changes, let's say you're going to change this location right here, simply make sure you're on that particular keyframe. Then go ahead and you could change the camera. So let's say that I was going to be over here. Then I would simply go back, hit I, make sure I'm over the view, I, location, rotation, and then click. So now it's going to still start in the same place, but now it's going to end up someplace further down. If you make a mistake and you want to delete some keyframes, you can change the view here to your dope sheet, and here are some of the different keyframes. So I could right click to select any group of these. If I wanted to, I could then move an entire set of keyframes. Once I get them in the right spot, I'm left clicking and they're then in that spot. So you can see that they've then moved. I could also, with some selected, hit X on my keyboard and I could go ahead and delete those keyframes. Maybe I added some that I don't want in a particular location. So you have a number of different controls. So that's how you do basic animation in Blender.